We're here at the 9/11 Memorial Site in Manhattan in New York City. And in just a moment, I'm going to be joined by Al and Maureen Santora. They are the parents of firefighter Christopher Santora, who was lost back on September 11th, 2001. We're going to talk about a very important scholarship that they created in his memory, which actually provides funds for kids furthering their education, and also 3 very important books that teach youngsters lessons and about the importance of remembering 9/11. A very important story here from the 9/11 Memorial.
He was the only boy with 3 sisters. He was the most vocal. He was a history buff, and when he was a little boy, he wanted to be a firefighter. So, he fulfilled his dream. He became a teacher, taught history, and he became a firefighter. And he was our joy and delight, and sometimes very aggravating, but we loved him unconditionally.
Christopher wanted to be a firefighter, as Maureen said, since he was a little boy. And to get into the fire department in New York City, it's a very rigorous process. He had to take a written test, which he got 100, and then he had to do the physical, which he got 100 on as well. He was already substitute teaching in New York City. He had gotten his degree in American history. He was offered a permanent position, but he knew he was going to be selected in the first group when the list came out. So he declined because he didn't want to leave the kids in the middle of the semester. And as it turned out, he got appointed in February of 2001. I was very proud of him. He got a company in Midtown Manhattan, Engine 54, and that's where he wound up being.
Well, the scholarship fund requires all the applicants to write an essay on a selected topic. It's always history, current events focused. There are 2 requirements. The students have to be American citizens, and they have to have a B in history. Their essays are judged on answering the question, spelling and grammar, focusing on the topic in a creative, unusual way, and answering it with a personal voice. And the highest scoring essay is the winner. And then we have a dinner dance every year, which we've had for the last 14 years. The high school students receive $8,000 scholarship, and this year we gave over $56,000 in scholarships. Our son loved life, and he loved history, and he, felt that the story needed to be told truthfully. And to my knowledge, there are no books written specifically for young children to explain what happened. And so I didn't want kids to be frightened or scared with the terrible visual images that, you see on the TV every year. And I wanted their parents, I wanted their educators to be able to explain the day in a way that they would be able to understand. So the first book, The Day the Towers Fell, is the story of 9/11. And the message of that book is that hatred is a terrible thing. And people who have hatred in their heart end up with a horrible life, and as a person you get to choose whether you are hateful or not. The second book, I wrote that book to talk about my son as he was growing up and tell children that he wasn't a perfect person. He got into trouble in school, he talked too much, he sometimes didn't want to do homework, he was like every other little kid, and and I wanted kids to know that no matter what he did, I loved him unconditionally. He was my boy, and for the rest of his life, I will love him forever. And then the third book is a collection, and it's for older children. It's for the middle school and high school. And it's a collection of stories about how tough it was to grow up. So that's the message of the third book, that, if you hang in there, and even though you screw up sometimes and make mistakes, you end up being a great adult. After 9/11, the very best of humanity came out in everybody. People were kinder, they were more generous, they were more patient, they were more tolerant, they helped each other, and that needs to continue. We forget that, and we go back to our old way of, pushing ahead or getting in the front of the line or having to be number one, and those don't lead to a happy, joyful life.
So as you can see, Maureen and Al Santora have truly made this their life's calling as they continue to spread the word, the lessons about 9/11 to children and really to all of us. And all of us at CUTV News commend the work of the Santoras as they make this their calling for the rest of their lives in the memory of their son, Christopher Santora. Reporting from the 9/11 Memorial in New York City, I'm Jim Masters, CUTV News.